Hello, beautiful people. How are you, my friends? And welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today is a happy day for me, guys. It's a very, very happy day. So, guys, finally, France has been booted out of Niger. Finally, France is leaving Niger.
It's the end of all military cooperation between France and Niger. Those were the words of the French president, who said Paris will not be held hostage to the junta leaders in Niamey.
France has decided to recall its ambassador to Niger, who along with several diplomats will return to France. And we're ending our military cooperation with the de facto authorities of Niger because they no longer want to fight against terrorism.
You know, these guys, they came and found Niger in a better state, and they have left it in a worse state than they found Niger. And President Macron says it seems Niger, they are no longer interested in fighting terrorism. So that's why they are pulling out. And because of the coup leaders, the junta leaders, they have overthrown the government. That is also one of the reasons that they are leaving. But the truth of the matter, we know that it's because of the natural resources that they have been blocked from taking without accountability in that country. Let me tell you something that these Western countries or European countries do. They come in a country, they destabilize a country so that you don't focus on the issues that are happening in the country, what they are doing in the country. Then you focus on the insurgency of the terrorist groups. You understand? So then they start extracting and taking your resources without accountability, without paying taxes to the government, without producing anything that will help a country. Now, this Africa that we are having is a different Africa. This Africa we are having is an Africa which is having leaders which are wise, leaders who are refusing to be puppets of the West. Because if you look at the Sahara region, the Sahara Desert up there, but if you look at the Sahara region, that is controlled by France. France has kept these nations still in bondage, still in captivity, still in colonialism, because they do all the things that subscribe to colonialism. They print money for these African countries. They handpick the presidents of these same countries, which are puppets to France. But we're seeing a new trend in Africa whereby new leaders are emerging and are saying no more to this nonsense. They have brought a system in Africa which they call democracy, rule by the people, for the people, whatever they call it. Then they unpick the puppets that they know and make all these rules whereby this individual can make and decide the future for millions of people alone in a boardroom with European people. And him and the family, they are benefiting, but what about the majority of the people in the land? That is why we are having leaders now like Ibrahim Traore for Burkina Faso saying enough of this nonsense. We just witnessed another coup now in Gabon. There was a coup in Niger. There's a coup in Mali. These are people saying we have had enough of these European countries, these Western countries. You know, you cannot be sustaining Europe while your people are suffering. But the kind of presidents that we used to have in Africa, these puppet leaders, they don't care for the people. So long their pockets are full, so long their families are abroad, so long they are living large, that's what matters. But Africans now, we are saying enough is enough. The era of puppets is done. We are saying we are taking matters in our own hands and we want to govern ourselves in a proper manner which will suit us. Before the invasion of Europeans in Africa, Africans, we used to stay and live better. We used to do things in a good way. Though Europeans, they have whitewashed the history and they have written lies in books saying we were barbaric and we were wearing whatever animal skin and living in huts and all sorts kind of lies that people now are taking. Niger was supposed to be attacked by France using ECOWAS because France lost Burkina Faso, lost Mali, now they are losing Niger. They're like, no, we cannot take this. So they wanted the intervention by ECOWAS, the West African Community, whatever they call them, to go and attack Niger and overthrow the junta. But whilst the people are in full support of the military coup which happened in Niger, meaning even the people themselves, they were tired of that puppet leader called Bazoum. And let me tell you something. Any African leader who's liked, who's loved by the West, know is a puppet. Know that leader is no good to his people. Look at Mandela. I'm not going to talk much about that, but look the situation in South Africa right now. And he's being praised by these Europeans. People like Mugabe, people like Idi Amin, they are labeled as dictators and those kind of names labeled against them. But look at what they did for their people. So it is high time that Africa will take matters in our own hands. In fact, let us just do away with anything European in Africa, let us do away with it and let us govern ourselves before Europeans came and invaded our nations. Before Europeans came and invaded our continent. We can do it, guys. We can do it. It's not going to be easy, but we will survive. We are survivors. The major thing here is France has been booted out, which means no more free uranium, no more free other natural resources. They have to pay, come to the market with a normal fair price, and then we're going to do business. Otherwise, no business as usual or no business as you used to do. So now, Africa, what we have to do is let us get rid of these puppet leaders. Puppet leaders needs to go out. And when France was booted out, France wanted to attack Niger. Now Niger entered into a military pact with Burkina Faso and Mali. Is there any other nation? Maybe, which other nation is that? I think with 3 nations. And they told them to say, if you touch Niger, you are declaring war against this Sahel region. And that threatened France. Not only the Sahel region, France knows that if it touches Niger, it faces the wrath of Africans. This is a new era, guys. A new era to be excited. Africans taking things in their own hands. Saying, enough of this. Your rule has come to an end in our continent. And it is time for us to take our rightful place in our continent. If you don't want to treat us as equals, then no business as usual. France, your day, your time is up in Africa. And not only France, even you other Western countries, your tea time, your D-Day is coming. Your D-Day is coming. Trust you me, Africa is rising. Africa is rising. We are on a rise. Because there is no way you can be printing our money, no way you can be telling us what to do. You steal our resources, and the 1% that you bring back to us, you call it aid. We don't need that. We don't need that. I remember President of Ghana said, we have got all the resources in the world where we can sustain the world. But yet we are poor. Why? You criticize us to say we are corrupt. You criticize us to say we are poor. You criticize us to say Africa is a dead continent. Yet you are the same people who come here to exploit our minerals, to treat us like trash, to steal our things. You run away with them to Europe. Then you turn around and condemn us and say all sorts kind of bad things about us. But now it's high time we're saying no. Enough is enough. And other Western countries are done. Once we take them out, then if you want to come and deal with us now, we need to come and put things on the table and agree with a win-win situation. Not whereby you're taking advantage of us as if we are not human beings, as if we don't deserve to have the natural resources that we are having. This is our continent, and we are going to decide how we deal with it and who we deal with. Africa, Pambili. See you guys in my next one.